I've been playing a lot of trios in Marathon, and something needs to be said about the player base. Let's get into it. I played a lot of FPS shooters, third person shooters such as X Defiant, The Division, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Arc Raiders, Apex Legends, Valorant. Grouping up in a squad can feel really different, and it's all with the attitudes that the player base gives off. In Apex Legends, we've got trios, and we've always got that one guy, you know what I'm talking about, where he's looting across the map, and you know he's going to come across another group and just get shot down. After they get shot down, they yell at the other people saying, "Why aren't you with me?" And then they disconnect. It can be a horrible experience, so usually I feel like I have to group up with friends, and it's hard to find that time to group up with a couple of friends that I know. Valorant by far has the worst player base. They're extremely toxic, they just talk crap from the get go, and it's even worse when you're the last person standing. You've got people just talking crap, and it just makes things stressful, and it sucks because I really like Valorant. I got really into Valorant, but I had to stop playing that game because I got way too stressed out. It's just not my game anymore. And that's because of the player base. And women who play Valorant, they get crapped on the most. It's really unfortunate to see, and it's kind of disgusting. I could rant on about Valorant, but it really sucks because, like I said, it's a great game. It's really strategic, but the player base is just so toxic that I can't even turn on that game anymore. And Call of Duty, we don't really need to talk about that. People rage hard on Call of Duty, but sometimes it's really funny and I kind of enjoy it. I like playing Call of Duty, but I'm not the guy who's playing every single game every single year. So I just get a good dose of it. So I'm not worn out by Call of Duty because I'm not really invested in that game. We all know the player base can really help shape the game and really build a community, and it can either go toxic or it can be really friendly and really enjoyable to play. Marathon, though, these players, and it might just be me and the progression where I'm at in the game right now, and it really shapes the experience that I'm having right now. It might not be your experience, but in my experience, it's been really enjoyable. People have been really friendly, and I'm loving it. I'm not maxed out. I'm not even near close to the max level. So your experience might be different if you're way up there and we've got some sweaty people going up against each other. I wish I had enough time to really get through everything and just wait for the next update and just be prepared for everything that's coming up next. But I'm constantly in a state of catch up. And I feel like that's the majority of people here. People have 9 to 5 jobs, people got things to do. So maybe your experience is like mine and you've been coming across some like minded individuals who's just trying to get through the next contracts. I like playing solo on games, but sometimes these contracts kind of require you to group up with a couple of other people. And there's two groups of people that I'm matched up with when I'm doing contracts with other people. One is they all just split up, just kind of like Apex, and they get shot down and disconnect. And that's really frustrating because that's usually the time where I'm bringing out a bunch of gear that I don't want to lose. I don't know how that works, but it just seems to happen to me at least. But lately, and most of the time, a lot of the people are really nice and they're trying to help each other out with contracts. For example, we're on one side of the map and the other guy has a contract that's on the complete other side of the map. The guy's pinging for my contract location, and I think that's really nice. They're trying to help people out and kind of maneuver it so we can both get our contracts done or just work on my contract, which I did not expect. In Marathon, I made so many new friends, and sometimes I'm linking up with people right after we do a contract, especially if we have the same contract and we're on the same step of the contract. It kind of reminds me of The Division. When I was playing that game, a lot of people just grouped up and started hanging out together and just had a good time, and it's really cool to have that experience back. It's something a lot of games are missing, and I don't know how communities are built in the way where one community can go really toxic and another community can get really friendly. I don't know the dynamics of that, but I'm really interested to find out how that occurs. If you've had similar experiences with Marathon and coming across friendlies and have built relationships like the relationships that I built, leave a comment below. I'd really like to hear your stories and see if you built some long-lasting relationships already since the game has come out. I've looked through Reddit and I've seen some horror stories about people just doing the same thing, kind of like the Valorant experience, but even then I don't see that many stories along that state. It's mostly similar stories as me, and I think that's great. If there's a majority of people having a good time, meeting some great people, and not having a toxic fan base, I think that's a big win for Marathon. And Marathon isn't alone. I've had the same experience with arc raiders, at least in trios or duos. I made some great friends in that game as well. And it's something that maybe more extraction shooters have versus something really competitive like Valorant or Battlefield or Call of Duty, where you're for the most part aiming for the same goal and just trying to get your things done and trying to get the best loot. So it's not really advantageous if people are really just looking out for themselves. So yeah, I think it's a really good thing when Marathon and games like Arc Raiders are encouraging a positive environment, and it really makes the game last longer and makes people want to play the game more. I'm not trying to get stressed out when I'm playing a game, and when people are toxic, I feel like that's added stress on an already stressful type of game like an extraction shooter. If you like what I'm doing here and you're just excited as I am to see where this channel goes, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate your support in this channel, and I hope you come along with me to see where this thing goes. Take care and have a good one. Later.